What testimony revealed, there were possibly 5 or more people shooting that night. And besides the victims, only 2 people out of the 200 have come forward to voluntarily tell police what they saw. We do want to warn you, some of this video is hard to watch. What started as a crowded street with music and dancing quickly turned to this. These disturbing images from social media, surveillance cameras, and cell phones all became evidence during Alexis Lewis's preliminary hearing.
There were numerous spent shell casings. There were tire marks in the roadway and blood.
Chattanooga Police homicide detective Scott Springer testified that celebrations from the Howard High reunion started through the day, then moved on to blue light on Station Street that night where a fight occurred.
There were several police units dispatched to the blue light.
Correct.
Right. And that may give some explanation as to the delay between the initial calls to police and the time that they actually responded. Is that fair to say?
Probably, yes.
Then the attention turned to McCallie, where Detective Springer recounted how many calls for help came in there, starting 30 minutes before the first shot was fired.
Would it be 5 or 6?
More than that.
More than that, okay. And this is just prior to the shooting?
Yes.
The prosecution played this video showing a man in red they say is Alexis Lewis shooting into the crowd. But Lewis's attorney points out that with the amount of people firing weapons that night...
How many shooters, based on your investigation?
I couldn't say.
Multiple?
Yes.
More than 5?
I couldn't say.
Possibly?
Possibly.
It's not yet clear that Lewis's bullets actually hit anyone.
Your theory and your investigation is that my client shot Mr. Harris, right?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm not sure if he did or not.
Okay, you don't know. You can't say with any degree of certainty.
But what the judge saw was enough to move the case forward and draw some strong words from the bench.
It's clear to me from watching that this could be not seen as anything other than gangs. Criminal, violent gangs showing up in my community that I grew up in the middle of the night when most people are sleeping.
Now, we also learned today that one of the other suspects, Rodney Harris, was shot 17 times and then hit by a car. He's facing federal charges. The judge also said she hopes the mayor and the new police chief, Celeste Murphy, see that video played in court today and make sure something like this never happens again.
And a month ago, Natasha Kitchens was met with news no mother wants to hear. Her daughter was one of the 6 teens shot in a random act of violence in a downtown shooting. Now she says she's not giving up hope.
I don't have any time to give up.
Natasha Kitchens is a mother that hasn't lost her faith.
And if you know that there's a God, you know, there's nothing that he can't heal.
Her daughter, Reagan Paris, is one of the victims in the shooting in downtown Chattanooga nearly a month ago.
I can't say she's doing good, but she's far from herself. She has a long way to go, but she's definitely fighting.
Natasha describes the night she found out Reagan was shot.
The call that she had passed away, and I was absolutely not. She's at work. They got the wrong child. Somebody's playing with you.
She says the road to recovery for Reagan will not be an easy one, and that this tragedy has greatly affected their family.
She brings life into everything she's around. So to have that missing is a devastating impact on our lives.
After this shooting and another that left 3 dead on McCallie Avenue a month ago, police promised to respond to large groups more quickly and target specific areas downtown with targeted patrols. We found some police roaming the area and a large crowd at nightfall. The DA's office tells us they are moving to try 2 teen suspects as adults. Right now, juvenile court says they haven't seen that paperwork yet.
We're going to declare and decree that she will not only be close to where she was before, but she's going to come back and she's going to be even better.
After the devastating shooting that happened right here on McCallie Avenue, the city identified 6 cameras that were not working. Last week, they removed that camera here on McCallie, but today we learned why that camera was still in place to begin with and why the new replacements haven't arrived.
That's harassment. That's going to be on that Amicola.
Jeremy Niver views the scenic city through a different lens.
Oh, yeah.
We got an inside look at where he works, the Real-Time Intelligence Center, one of only 2 in the state, where they monitor nearly 3,000 cameras, 53 of which belong to the city, and the remainder to local businesses, community groups, and nonprofits.
Through proactive measures such as a camera, we're trying to prevent any further crimes.
But on the night of the McCallie shooting, one of those cameras went dark.
This is a big problem because I really feel like that camera at that corner at at McCallie and Willow Street, it would have caught everything that you needed to see.
McCallie residents voiced their anger at City Council in the days after 3 people lost their lives in this shooting. City Council put in an emergency purchase order to get 11 more cameras, 6 to replace cameras that are currently down, and 5 to cover any that aren't working.
I actually filled out the IT ticket for that McCallie camera.
Niver says they report offline cameras every day, but after IT couldn't reset the McCallie camera, they didn't send a new request to EPB. He says because EPB was already scheduled to visit and take down other malfunctioning cameras.
Another vendor to coordinate times and dates so that nobody's time got wasted and we could lump in several cameras that needed to be taken down together.
We were there as crews took down the camera on McCallie, but more new cameras are on the way after city purchase reports show parts for the previous cameras are no longer in production.
We're actually almost multiplying our cameras that we purchased by 4.
The new cameras will have 4 additional lenses, but supply chain issues are delaying their arrival.
They're on order, shipping's a problem.
Niver says when these new cameras do arrive, they'll be a game changer.
If someone's shot, obviously that victim and that family would want the best quality of justice.
The city says they've spent over $500,000 in just the past 2 months on new cameras. They also have adopted a new policy moving forward to be able to have camera replacements in place at all times.